What if I told you the way it has always been done is not the best way? Facing your fears will change your life. The passion behind this journey is merging two separate worlds into one with the goal of creating value and awareness for a better life.
I'd rather be sidelined trying to achieve greatness than watch greatness achieved and it only set on the sideline. Now introducing your host, Jacob Emery.
This episode is brought to you by R&R Pipeline, an infrastructure company. Our purpose? Enhancing America's infrastructure with a safety-driven, integrity-led culture that provides an environment for team members to grow and thrive. Stories are something that are just life experiences. How we present them, how we frame them, how we look at them, it's up to us. You can't create a better past until you create a better future. And a lot of the time, our future is in the negative light. The issues are things that happen to us, problems, no resolutions, no solutions, issues, all negative. What happened to us in life did not become an opportunity to get stronger. It was just a setback and a reason why we did it or a reason why we will not or can't. But when you frame the past in educational bounds, when you look at it from a stance of, I learned this from this, and because of this thing, I am no longer that same person that was mentally weak in this area. Or because of this adversity, I became stronger and a better person because of this. So how you frame things is very crucial for your own perception of reality and for what the outside thinks of you. Not that that matters as much, but your ability to tell a story creates a genuine, authentic value to others. If others need a way to get through a certain crisis or a certain setback, hearing the story from someone else is normally a way that they're able to do so. So I want to tell you a story. Last school year, beginning of 2024, I was fortunate enough to get an opportunity to go back to my high school and speak at the school for an aspiring leadership class. Now, this opportunity was very humbling, and quite frank, I did not feel worthy of going there to do so. Felt like I had imposter syndrome, maybe. It was such a big sentimental opportunity because of who I was when I went to that high school. Dead or in jail by 21 was my ceiling of success. 16 to 18-year-old kid that was absolutely going nowhere. And everything that was said to me was probably correct because of the action that I was taking or not taking at the time. So whenever I tell the story now, it gives me goosebumps, gives me chills. This story now, being able to look at it and talk about it, has set the foundation for who I am today. And because of it, I'm grateful, forever grateful for the adversity, for the pain and the setbacks. 16-year-old, asleep in class. Last class of the day, and I'm out. I'm dead asleep. And unfortunately, this was not an uncommon thing for me. I did not do well in school, especially my last couple of years. Got in a lot of trouble. Acted out, didn't fit in, didn't want to fit in. And it's amazing that looking back at who I was then to who I am now, I can't even recognize that old person in me. But it's not much different than today. I'm just in my lane. I found something to release that pent-up energy and that passion for whatever it is. I found a release. I still have a similar foundation today that I did then, but I'm much more methodical, matured, with obvious direction in life and not completely lost in life. And for those of you that are not going to fit in a box, that struggle in school, that don't take tests very well, just feel like the world around you just moves slow, I highly recommend going and watching or listening to reading the book Driven. watching some of the videos on Driven, iamdriven.com. Check it out. It'll save you a lot of pain. But that was me. Lost, in trouble, fighting, drinking, raising hell. It didn't matter. I did it all. And I'm asleep in class. The bell rings and I'm distraught because it scared the crap out of me. So I get up. I'm walking out of school, dazed and confused. And as I'm walking out of school, my stomach starts to twist. I have no idea why. In my mind at the time, I'm 16 to 17. I'm probably hungover from the night before. Maybe I just need a beer, whatever it is. I walk out to my truck, an old 1994 Ford Ranger, Mazda B4000, just a beat up truck. And it quite literally went through hell. So I go out to my truck. I have a 6-pack on ice. I crack open a beer and I chug a beer at 16 years old. That was who I was. R&R Pipeline at the time is outside of the school, out on the main drag in front of the school, digging in a natural gas line. And having already worked there one summer during the summer break of school, I was only a few weeks away from going back. And it was hot out that day. I was just dreading the fact of going back to work. At the time, I think I just wanted to be a kid, maybe. I didn't want to go to work right after school and work till dark. I didn't want to go on summer break and not enjoy any of it and go just work all the time. That's what I did, though. And as I'm thinking about going back to school, I'm just dreading that thought. I'm pulling out of the parking lot. I'm getting ready to turn right and pass the crew. I don't remember to this day if I was by myself, if I said it out loud. I don't remember that detail, but I remember 10 to 20 times saying, that's going to be my company one day. That's going to be my company one day. At the time, I had no rhyme or reason why. I was going there for, I think, $7 an hour summer help. Looking back, it's an amazing story to tell. I'm so grateful that that memory has been there because I had this massive, vivid image, this gut instinct, this almost out-of-body experience that that's going to be my company one day. And I repeated that 10, 20 times, maybe more, maybe said out loud, maybe didn't. And I didn't talk about that moment for 12 years. So I thought. So yesterday, I am in town and run into one of my old teachers. At 16 to 18 years old, there was one person that believed in me, and one person only, and it wasn't me. Ms. Holton was a study hall teacher, and she was like my guidance counselor. She, now looking back, I would consider her an angel. She took me under her wing, protected me, gave me guidance through life, and seen something in me that I could never fathom existed. I didn't see much of myself. I only seen what this reactionary, delinquent, crazy, impulsive kid was doing. And I never looked past it much. She would wrap her arm around me and take me under her wing. I remember being so hungover, drunk, walking into school. And whether she knew or not, I'm not sure, but she was always trying to help me out. I never understood why. She gave me my diploma. At the time, I would say she was probably the only teacher that had any respect for me whatsoever. And I don't know why. I'm grateful, though. So last night, I run into her. And just recently this year, almost 20 years later, I get the opportunity to go back to Licking Valley High School and speak. And the reason it's so powerful for me is because when I walk back in that school, I'm not supposed to be there for what I'm there for. I should not be where I'm at today. And it just is a reminder to all of you that if you're not where you want to be at, it's okay. You can still get wherever you desire to go. You just have to commit to it, and you have to change. So I'm sitting there, and all these memories start rushing back. The study halls, the counseling, the mentorship, the protection. Now, whenever I see Miss Holden, I am it's such a blessing to tell her I outlived the ceiling. I did more than I was supposed to do. And she tells me she's proud of me, which is one of the people in my life that probably 5 or 10 people right now that it really means something to me when they say that I'm proud. And when she told me that, I felt so much fulfillment and purpose in life because I'm not supposed to be here. And as we were talking a little bit more, I got to explain to her the story and how I was going back to the school. So I go back to the school. I'm walking to the school just a few months ago at 35 years old to speak to aspiring leaders class. Like I said, very humbled, very profound for me to walk into a school, not as a student, almost as a teacher. Laughable to think 20 years ago who I was to who I am today. But I walk into the school, start getting the same weird gut feeling. I'm a grown man, 35 years old, been through hell and back a few times, and I'm getting this weird gut feeling walking into my old high school. I'm not nervous. I don't have anxiety. At least I don't think. I don't understand why I feel this way. Everything happens for a reason, and it's amazing when you can look at it and just be so grateful about it. I walk into the school, start walking down to the class for I'm going to be doing a presentation, and I start really feeling it. Then it's borderline too much. Like I'm not sure what's going on. I walk in the class and sit down, and all the memories from high school just flash right before my eyes. I'm sitting there and I'm like, why does this feel so obvious? Like, why does this feel so powerful to me? I don't understand. I'm trying to run it through my head. The school obviously looks much smaller now than it did then, and the memories were much bigger presented than what they were then. And I'm just confused. I don't understand why. So I sit down at the table, sitting in this chair, and I have deja vu, almost jumped out of my seat to the point the teacher even acknowledged, like, you have deja vu or something? You all good? And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm good. Just deja vu. Had a couple memories come back. One memory came back, and it was an incident that I got into and got some trouble in that exact seat. How I remember that, I'm not sure. But the second part, I didn't even realize till a day or two later. That's the same exact seat that I was sitting in at 16 years old, the day I was asleep in class, the day that I got saved by the bell and woke up. The same exact seat almost 20 years later that I had this out-of-body experience saying that that's going to be my company one day. That's going to be my company one day. I could relive it, or I did relive it, when I sat down. And it was extremely powerful. Super cool. Super cool. So as I run into Miss Holden yesterday, all this is going through my head. And I'm telling her the story. I haven't seen her in years. Lo and behold, she's like, Jake, we used to have conversations about you buying this company all the time. She's like, you told me about this thing that happened, this experience. And I never knew that. I had forgot that. Forgot it. And when she told me that yesterday, I was like, wow, I was meant to do this. This is who I am. This is where I belong. And there is nothing and no one that can tell me any different because I did it. Reality says everything that I set out to do, at 16 has been accomplished, and then some. So when you think about experiences, look at the positive in them. Find something to learn from. Find a unique edge that you can pull out of this experience, and you can make something great out of it. It happened for me, not to me. And because it happened for me, I got to share this story. I got to see someone yesterday that was very important to me and is very important to me. And I'm forever grateful for the few that had the best interest in me. And I will forever be indebted to them. And because of that, I will forever try to help others if they need it, if they desire it. How you look at your past is going to ultimately create your future. And you can't create a better future until you create a better past. Reframe the story. Look how it helps you get where you're at today. Learn from the mistakes, learn from the errors and the failures, learn from the ups and the downs both. Appreciate the opportunities to get stronger and hope they come again. And last but not least, pay your gratitude, give your gratitude, thank the people that helped you in the tough times. Thank the ones that seen something in you when no one else did. Be grateful. There are angels out there. And Miss Holton, thank you. I truly think you were an angel for me, and I appreciate you.